I am Carrie, and I bought this LUXA Matrix kit with my own money for about 70 bucks, I believe, straight from luxapolish.com. And I'm going to show you how I did my first full set on myself, just to kind of show you how easy it is and then give you the pros and cons. So it's kind of a review and a tutorial at the same time. This is the nail art I did after I was done with this set. So if you'd like to see that, I'm going to be making a tutorial on that as well. Get all of the blobs onto your nails. I did not show me cutting it off of the thing because I could not get my camera situated right, and my hands and my forms. So anyways, you're gonna prep your nails first. And then once your nails are prepped, I have a video on how I prep my nails if you'd like to see that as well. I will link it below. Once you have your nails prepped, you're gonna they give you a cutter tool to cut the blobs off, and then you'll place the blobs onto your fingernails. And as far as getting down the size that you should put on for each fingernail, it's kind of a learning curve. You'll see I didn't do enough on my middle finger there. And then my pointer finger I put way too much. So it's just kind of something that you'll have to play with and you'll figure it out. But anyway, so once it's on your fingernail, then you'll take rubbing alcohol, and I put my rubbing alcohol in just like one of my dap-in dishes. I don't do acrylic, but I do have a dap-in dish. So I'll put the rubbing alcohol in the dap-in dish, and then you will dip the brush that they give you. It looks like an acrylic brush, but it's a little bit different. And you'll dip it in there, and you'll just push it around like I'm doing in this shot right here. You need your brush wet for it to move, but you don't want it soaking wet. I noticed when I do it soaking wet that it tends to droop the product. You can't really see it until it's there, but like it tends to droop the product into your sidewalls, which you don't want. And it's also a pain in the butt to file off. I feel like for any product to get file out of your sidewalls is annoying. But anyways, some pros and cons that I have with using this right now, as you can see what I'm doing at the moment, is that it stays put, which is super nice. I do not get along well with acrylic. But there's so many like pros to acrylic that you just can't get with gel. But I prefer gel over acrylic. The only thing with gel is that I feel like with mine, I have to do one nail at a time and then flash cure it, and then work on the other hand while that one's flash curing, and then switch. So it doesn't really like take up more time, but it does move. So this is one of the pros to using this matrix, is that you don't have to do curing in between. I can do all 10 fingernails and it stays in the same place. I feel like the only time I've ever had it drooping is you'll see when I get to my thumb. It does have a tendency, if it's sitting sideways, gravity will start to pull it, but it doesn't move. Like once I have it where I want it, you can see on this nail, this is where I did not get enough. But the other nice thing about this stuff is I'm just gonna chop some off of my pointer finger and put it there later, you'll see. But anyways, it's pretty easy to use. Before editing and cutting out all of the goofy things in between spots that I messed up on or missed my sticker or whatever, it took me about 23 minutes, I think was the total time for me to just apply this product, just to apply it. That didn't include prep. But like I said, I have a prep video I'll link below on how I prep. I did use the LUXA base for this. I usually do not prep with LUXA base unless I'm using this matrix. If I'm using my regular gels, I prep with something else. But anyway, but yeah, you can see I got way too much on this fingernail. So this is probably my, I've done like 4 or 5 full sets on clients, and then this is my first time doing a full set on myself. I have played with it on my own fingers, like done really long stiletto nails or, just messed around with it. But this is just my first time doing a full set on myself. So I tend to play with it and mess with it a little bit more when I'm doing it to myself, because I troubleshoot on my own. So when I'm doing it on other people, I kind of do what I know works and then figure new things out. But anyway, it's super easy. I actually feel like the first time I used it, it was like like, I was giddy. It was so easy. I was anticipating to have to do a ton of troubleshooting. I was anticipating just to, get frustrated because I am not a patient person, but I actually really like it. I have not completely decided whether or not I'm going to fully move over to using this product versus what I already use, because I already am a diehard fan and I really love the products that I actually use. I do have to say though, if they started making colors, that might be a game changer. They have quite a few pinks to pick from, and I think they have a couple of different whites, like a brighter white and a more neutral white, and then they have a clear. I have not messed with any of the other ones but the one that you see in the picture right now, so I can't really give you a good review on those. I would love to try them. I think this would be a game changer too for my clients that like pink and whites, because I hate doing pink and whites, and I think it'd be really nice to do pink and whites with the LUXA Matrix just because it doesn't move. And because you can put it where you want with it and mess with it until you get it the way you want it, and then once it's where you want it, then you can cure it, which is like one of my favorite things about gel. The only thing is gel still moves. So it's kind of best of both worlds for this. But another thing that, sorry, somebody's calling me. Another thing is that okay, I don't know how to explain this. It's super, super easy to get it right up to your cuticle without touching your cuticle. Whereas like with gel, since it's wet, if you get it close to your cuticle, it has a tendency to like sink into it if you get too close. Like even if you don't touch it, sometimes it will sink back and then you have to file that off. This you can get really, really, really close to. I feel like I should insert a shot of it from this side. You can see how it blends right in with my natural nail. Like there's not a dip or a bump or anything. So that's another pro that I have with it. Another thing is that with filing, you'll see in just a minute, I fast forward through the filing because it's kind of tedious to watch, but it's really easy to get through. When I removed this set, and on the sets that I've done on other people, filing it through with my e-file, it drills really fast. It comes right off. It's still really strong, so it kind of surprised me that it came off so easily. I feel like you usually kind of have to fight the stronger ones. Like acrylic is really hard to cut through. Yeah, it's the only thing though with the filing is that I feel like it's, after you file it, it gets kind of rough, so you do have to buff it, whereas with gel you don't typically have to buff it. It makes it nice when it's getting around the cuticles too though, because if you do get it up in your cuticle, it files off really nicely. Trying to think of some other good pros and cons to talk about. I don't know. Oh, another thing about this one versus some of the other ones that I've checked out is that this only needs rubbing alcohol. You don't have to have some fancy whatever, and I feel like for most nail techs and even people in general, we have rubbing alcohol in our homes, so it's not something that's hard to get your hands on or expensive, or just, you don't have to buy their special product. You can just rubbing alcohol. It's super easy, super convenient, really nice. Another thing that I like about it too is that like what I'm doing right at this moment, looks like I'm trying to cut myself out of the camera, but is that I don't like the ends of my nails to be thick. It's really easy to like get an arch. To build your arch, you usually with gel you flip your hand upside down, or you have to bubble it on or build it that way. But with this you can just shape it and push it where you want it and it stays super nice. I'm just going back, there's a couple of spots that I noticed that I missed after the fact, and then you just cure it for 2 minutes like you normally would. And then you'll remove the forms, or if you're not doing forms, doing it straight onto your nail, whatever. Just remove that, and then rubbing alcohol like you typically would with gel, because it does have a sticky, kind of tacky layer. It's not the same as gel though, it's definitely different. And it doesn't feel as smooth at this point. So anyways, I'm just going to go through and shape it like I typically would. If anybody is interested on how I shape or tips and tricks on shaping, let me know. because I am down to make more videos. I'm not sure what people want to see though. So if you have any requests, I jump around a lot in this because I kept pulling my hand out of camera shots. So instead of making you watch me file out of shot, I just cut it. So if you see me jumping around, that's why. Oh, that's another thing. Anybody have some good camera setups? Because that is where I struggle. I'm having a hard time figuring out what I'm gonna, like, how to set up my camera. But anyway, super easy to file. I very light-handedly just go over the entire thing just to kind of smooth it out. The nice thing about this too is that it's very easy to see where you have dips or bumps, like if I missed or just didn't do the shape right. It files so easily though, and I wish you could see it better in person, but I wish you could see it better on camera. You can see it better in person, but the edges are so crisp. When you go to shape, I don't know why, just so easy, so crisp. It just is different, just different. So I really like it. I have a lot of questions though for LUXA on, like, I'm not sure how you can use it with glitter. I'm sure you can just mix it in. I'm not sure if you can layer. I'm not sure if you can do hard gel in between. I mean, they said it's a hard gel. It's not a soft gel. I emailed them and asked them about that. It is not a soft gel, so you can't soak it off. You do have to file it off. But I'm not sure layering how I can do that, like, because I like to sandwich my colors, and so I would need to build in between. So I'm not sure if I can do that. That's another thing that would kind of impact if I were to switch over completely. Here, I'm out of camera again. I forgot to edit this part out. That's fine. But anyway, so yeah, that's one thing. They were gonna have a class close to town, the town close to me, but not enough people signed up for it, so they canceled the class, which I was bummed about because I had so many questions. So hopefully they'll do another class around me soon, and then I can give you more information, because I'm sure there are some things that you'd probably want to know that I can't really answer because I'm not sure. This honestly is me just kind of like, I've watched a couple of their videos on Instagram and I am figuring out the rest as I go. They gave you instructions on how to prep and attach and all that stuff, but the rest of it is kind of me just figuring it out and troubleshooting on my own. I haven't really found a whole lot out there on it quite yet. So hopefully this video helps for those of you who don't have a more thorough something to look at. If I missed any questions, let me know, because I'd be happy to answer them based off of my own experience. I can't tell you from what they, like, I can't say that I can educate you on this because I can say 100% that I am not sure if I'm doing everything right anyway, but this is how I did it. They stayed on. I did not have any issues with lifting. I did not have any issues with cracking or breaking. They stayed on perfectly. So this here, I have to buff it. I do feel like it's pretty grainy when you're done filing it. Like, it doesn't, like, not the gel is smooth after you file it, but it's kind of closer to the texture of acrylic. So I do feel like you have to buff it in between, and I really just wanted to show you how cute my brush is, so there's my brush. But anyways, I buff it lightly, just go over the top of it to kind of smooth it out a little bit, and then dust it off, and you're finished. I usually like to apply rubbing alcohol and just clean out my cuticle area really, really good before I'll go apply color over the top of it. But if you'd like to see the nail art that I did over this set, I used all Light Elegance products, and I will make a video for that too. And I would really appreciate it if any of you hit subscribe or like, or just let me know what I can or can't do differently, can or shouldn't do. I don't know, because I am new to the YouTube game. So if there's any suggestions that you have or any questions that I missed, please let me know, and follow me on Instagram. I am at Nails by Kerrie, right there, no caps, no spaces.